Hey guys, it's Mike from Fishing and Fabricating. Today I'm out in the garage by myself. It's a Saturday. Vic and his wife went to a festival this weekend. Should be pretty cool. Can't wait to hear about that. But yeah, so I'm out here and I thought, I'm not going to work on the car much today. Give it a break. But I am going to work on this. So this is our heater that we've been using for 2 years now in the garage, and it works really well. This is a Mr. Heater, 70,000 BTU. My garage space is 24 by 32 with a 9-foot ceiling, and it keeps it plenty warm in here. So if you're ever thinking about getting one, this is a good heater to get, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think I paid like $400 for it, but give or take 50 bucks. But anyways, it's a good heater, does its job, heats it up quick in here, and it maintains heat pretty well. Now I do have this building insulated as well. Not really well insulated, but I use the half-inch, I forget what it's called, but it's the foam, the half-inch foam board. And all the walls and the ceiling are all half-inch foam board. And then you can see on the wall back here behind me, this stuff. I think it was this one right here. These were already in there. Oh, I take it back, it was the pink one. Yeah, so the pink one, that's the one I used in all the walls. But anyways, it does the job. But here's the problem, okay? So we got it up here about halfway up the wall on a shelf. 2 reasons we put it up here. Number one is it's out of the way, off the floor. Out of the way. 2, because everybody that knows anything about heat knows that it rises. So if you set this thing on the floor, it's going to run all the time because the heat's going to rise, the floor's going to be cold, and so you're not going to get, your heater's not going to shut off. It's just going to sit there and run. It's never going to reach temperature. And so generally, what that does is it causes you to have to turn your thermostat up on your heater, and then it's too hot. So what we do is we put it up about halfway up the wall. That way it's kind of in between the what we like to call the Arctic zone and the heat zone. And so the heat is rising up here. We're probably about 28 inches from the ceiling where the thermostat is. So with our fans going and everything in here, it kind of pushes the heat around the wall and keeps us nice and in that zone, that perfect zone. So when we're running this thing, it'll heat up, kick off. We can get a little while out of it without it running. It keeps a really nice, maintains a decent temperature on that level where you're actually working. So hopefully that made sense. It's a lot of roundabout explaining, but so anyways, now we're getting to the project. You can see that with this being up here like this, it kind of sticks out. So yeah, we took care of it not being on the floor in a way, but now it's up here where, if you can see, it's just about face level with me, and Vic's just a hair shorter than me, so both of us, we hit our head on this thing. Mostly when you're like sweeping the floor, looking down, sweeping like this, or you're looking for something, you sat down and bam, hit your head on this thing. Not fun, hurts. So we're not going to do that no more. Well, we'll probably still do it, but now we're going to try to protect ourselves from cuts, bruises, and that kind of thing. So what I'm doing is I've grabbed some of this. This is a pool noodle. They sell like an insulation, pipe insulation that's like this as well. But I couldn't find it really big enough, so I just bought this pool noodle. There's a store locally here going out of business, and it was cheap. So anyways, I picked this up and then just took one of these utility knives and split it right down the middle. Now I didn't necessarily have to split it, because I could have just wrapped it around like this. But I think I want to go around it like this and then put some zip ties. We'll drill some holes, put some zip ties in there, and then I'll hold it in place. And then that'll take care of that for, you know, if we do hit our head, at least it'll be cushioned and it won't hurt so bad. Some of the other tools I'm using today, using the Ryobi, I'm not sure what this thing's called, but it works. It's a good tool, made by Ryobi. And of course we got our trusty drill. Gonna use a pair of pliers to take this guy out and some zip ties. So that's kind of what we're using today. Let's get started on this. I know it's a pretty dull project, but it's something that needs to be done. Now, one other thing that I did here is you can see there's a corner right here. I don't have, I didn't cut it off flat. I kept it kind of a corner because what we did is we stuck this up here, drilled some holes so this thing wouldn't move. We didn't want it to vibrate off the show. You don't want $400 or $500 hitting the floor. That would not be good. So that's why we did that. And then we just stuck the legs down into holes and it holds it right in place good. But we do need to cut this off. And then we'll just go right over top of it with this stuff, like so. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is take this out. Now this is a door stop that I put on here. Just a little one of these things, a little, you know, when your dog steps on it, goes blah, 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 blah. Because the door's right here and it hits. So that's why I put that on. We don't need that anymore. That should do the same thing. So we got that off there. Now we're gonna take this thing and hopefully it's sharp enough to do this. Well, we're just gonna cut this sharp corner off of here. Like that. Now it's flat. We still got plenty of distance there to keep it from breaking out, falling off. I mean, honestly, we could probably get a little closer and we'll just see how this fits. Now before I put that up there for fitment, I'm going to drill some holes so we got some place to put our zip ties. Now, looks like we're going to have to trim a little bit to go around this wire. This is a safety wire, keep it from falling. It's one on both sides. Now, I don't know if these zip ties are going to be long enough to go around this or not, so I might have to use two. We're going to put them right in there, like that. We'll wait. Now we better do it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but just putting all these in the holes. And we're going to start fitting it up. Now we do have that wire, so we're going to have to cut around that. Slit in her. Get our matches the contour of the wire there. And it's a good tight fit, so might not even need a zip tie, but we're gonna put one on anyway. Okay. Want to roll her up a little bit here. She's tight, ain't no doubt. There we go, that's better. Get it positioned the way we want it. And the zip tie's just a little short, so we'll have to use two. It's all right though. We don't mind using two. Got plenty of them, so. All right. Just like that. Make sure. I know you're not getting close-ups, but just putting zip ties together. So. Like that. All right, now got to come around the corner here. Now this is where we're going to determine whether or not we want to trim this back a little more, but let's see what it looks like here. Definitely a tight fit. Yeah, I think we'll trim it back a little more. May have to change our plan will cut metal, so we don't want to cut a hole in the bottom of our tank by accident either. All right. So just close enough to the edge where it wants to slip through. So I'm just going to put another piece underneath there real quick. Maybe use that one we cut off. Just slide it up underneath there. Screw it down so it can't fall through. Let's grab a screw. All right, we got a little screw. We got a screwdriver. And, a small drill bit. Just going to drill a small hole in this so it don't split all out when I do this. I'm going to go ahead and drill 2. Because if one hole won't hold it, or screw, we're going to put 2 in it. Alright. Put our screwdriver tip on. And put a screw in it. Yeah, I think we're going to do 2 screws. And just for the record, if you think you got everything figured out, you'll find out you don't. Have to move it. Got to move it over a little bit. This one's not grabbing. Oh, it wants to split out. Of course. Like I said, think you got it figured out? You don't. That'll hold. The good news is we're going to cover it up. So, just going to go ahead. Now, one thing it does have is it has a board on the bottom right here, where it don't have that on the other side. I don't really want to go over that board because it makes it harder to zip it, and I don't think we really need to, honestly. Probably could have not done it here. Yeah, let's take one of those out. We would get away with cutting one of them, but I guess not. Yeah, so when we get right here, we're just going to do that. I like that anyway. That'll work. Doesn't have to be beautiful, it just has to be effective. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it looks good, it's better, but stick that on there. work. We got max headroom protection. If you hit your head on that sweeping, you're gonna go, oh, yeah, it don't even hurt. No scratch, no dent, no blood. It's awesome. All right. Now, we'll determine, I think we're gonna maybe drill. I'd like to have one more right there, I think. There we go. And just like that, nice protection there. Don't have to worry about bumping our head on it. I even went over and above and showed you that it don't hurt. So, pull you off here and see if I can take you for a little closer view here. That's the part I was telling you got a little short there. But that's okay. We don't, like I say, there's, if you're back in there poking around, you probably deserve a headache. But yeah, see? Nice. Gets the job done. Looks decent from a distance. Probably could have used something different than pink. I gotta tell you though, that was the last one. Store's going out of business and they had one left. And a little boy picked it up. And I didn't know there was only one left. I asked Mom, I said, where did your son find that? She said, over there, but I think it was the last one. I said, oh, okay. I started to walk away and the little boy said, sir, you can have it if you want. And I said, no, I ain't gonna take your pool noodle, bud. And he said, no, I want you to have it. Now, this kid was probably maybe 7, 8, 9, I'd say probably 7 or 8, 9 years old, somewhere in there. And I said, oh, no, I'm not gonna take your pool noodle from you. And his mom said, well, it was his choice what he could get. And he chose that, but if he wants to give it to you, that's cool with me. And he said, yeah, I want you to have it. So I took it. And the reason why I took it's because that little boy displayed something that a lot of adults even could learn from. He wasn't selfish. He gave that pool noodle up. I mean, doesn't seem like a big deal to an adult, but it's a big deal to a kid. And I thought that was really cool. And I looked at his mom and I said, yep, you're raising him right, Mom. Good job. So anyway, every time I look at this pool noodle now, I'll think of that little boy and how awesome he was, that he didn't have a selfish heart and he was willing to share that pool noodle with this old bald guy. But yeah, so that's cool. Cool story behind it. So that's it. That's all I'm doing today. Well, probably not all I'm doing today, but that's all I'm doing to this. And I'm happy with the results. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Tell your friends. looking forward to Vic being back in the garage here soon, but he's out enjoying some family time with his wife, and that's awesome. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Peace.